evening everyone and welcome along to FRL. We are here for F1. It is season number 13, round 22 where the championship has been taking the Australian Grand Prix from down under, of course, at the Melbourne Street Circuit. At Albert Park, of course. My name is James. I'm going to be taking to the stream as always on a Tuesday night, and joining me in the commentary box, it is Michael F1. Michael, how you doing?
G'day mate, and I'm welcome to be here in the Australian Grand Prix. That'll probably be my only pun in this session tonight, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully we'll have a good race despite not having many drivers in tonight.
Yeah, only 11 drivers, which I've got to be honest is very disappointing from an FRL standard, and of course for a top tier standard as well. It is completely disappointing. I understand drivers have issues in terms of being ill, or they have stuff ongoing in their in their real life. But honestly, it's an absolute joke. 11 drivers for a top tier, considering we had the American Grand Prix in a full grid just a couple of weeks ago. It's shameful. It really is shameful. And I'm sorry to start off on a rant, but it's needed because drivers, I think, that are obviously here tonight want to put in that commitment, want to put in and want to race. And if you're not one of them drivers, then I'm sorry, you're probably not going to get in next season. Simple as that. Anyways, standings. Jensen, of course, leading the way on 302 points. Baraka in second on 278 points. Championship might be wrapped up tonight. Jensen, of course, leading the way by Baraka. 24 points is the gap. What Jensen basically needs to do is pick up the win, pick up the fastest lap point as well. Baraka needs to DNF in 11th position for him to wrap up the championship. That is literally the only scenario that we've got in terms of the championship, with still 52 points, I think it is, after tonight's racing still available. So Jensen has got one hand on the trophy, but Baraka will try his might to try and obviously get a result. Of course, he outscored Jensen last time out in Brazil.
Yeah, which he desperately needed. But let's say if we had 3 DNFs in the race and Baraka was the 9th place man that got DNF, would he still count as a point finisher or not?
Possibly so. Obviously, if drivers DNF on track, obviously, how the track obviously is with the curbs, then it might be the case where drivers actually invalidate, of course, on their lap time. It will remain to be seen, I think, because normally, when there's been less than 10 finishers, I think we've only had that once this season, when there's less than 10 finishers, drivers are normally awarded the points. So we might get to a scenario like that where, of course, Baraka, if that is the case, might not be able to wrap up, or certainly get close to Jensen as possible. Jensen, of course, is one of the first men out on track. Dara, in fact, is the first man out on track. He's just overtaken the Alfa Romeo of Christmas, and I think Christmas has actually just gone past him. And Dara, interestingly, of course, part of the TRT gang, and he'll be hoping, of course, to try and get a very good lap in, of course, what I believe is his FRL debut tonight.
Yeah, and more importantly, for a very long time, probably the first this season, is Baraka's teammate. So he's finally got a teammate that supports him, and I think they are, well, he's in the sandwich in the Alfa Romeos. So no pressure there, mate, but I hope you have a very good race tonight. Obviously the Constructors, as we all know, has been wrapped up by Alfa Romeo, but second place is still up for grabs, but with the second AlphaTauri, it's going to be a lot harder for Red Bull and McLaren, I believe, who's fighting. I'm not too sure, but yeah. Good thing there's a teammate involved for Baraka. Let's see the first flying lap from Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas on the run down in towards turn 1. My first commentary actually here in Australia tonight, as we come now through turn 2, and then down in towards turn 3 at Whiteford Corner. Yes, through the Whiteford Corner at turn 3, and then through the left hander, of course, at turn 4. Quite a few markings obviously changing from last year's game, coming through turn 4, and then coming now through turn 5, and then in towards turn number 6, of course, towards the end of the first sector, 26.6 through the first sector, as we now come through Marina at turn 6, and then through turn 7, and then in towards turn 8 before reaching the Clark curve, coming through turn 9, or the Clark chicane, however you like to call it, coming through turn 9, and then to the left hander of turn 10, and then towards one of the trickier sections of the track, of course. John Alesi famously ran out of fuel on the left hand side of the track there in the mid 1990s. Christopher, though, again, purple through the middle sector. Looks like Jensen has backed off on his lap, so he must have picked up an invalidation. Yes. And now Christmas on the run up towards Ascari at turn number 13, and be hoping, of course, to try and get a fantastic lap in here at the Albert Park Circuit, coming through now turn 14, and then in toward the final two corners of Senna and Prost, of course, famous rivals back in the day in the late 1980s, of course, early 1990s, and Christmas now coming out of Prost, then through towards the line, and Christmas with the 120.7 to kick off the night.
Yeah, that was a solid lap, and everyone else behind is just struggling as we see it.
Dara.
Dara? That's his name?
Dara.
Yeah, he had an invalid lap earlier, and Jensen just lost the back end just into turn 1. So he's struggling with the back end a little bit as Lee goes second for now, only 2/10, just over 2/10 away from poleman himself, but T-Hawk on the mediums. I don't think this is a flyer, I just think it's probably a little banker lap for now. As TC has also had an invalid lap, but he's still going for the line. Yep, I think that's it for now, because the Mercedes of the other reserve driver has got an invalid lap also, so it's quite tricky to get a perfect lap around here.
Yeah, very tricky indeed. Only 4 drivers setting the time, obviously, so far. QVR Christmas out on top from Lou in second, T-Hawk in third. And with only 11 drivers, of course, tonight, we can focus on these drivers more in particular, I think, compared to recent weeks in FRL. So we can get a really good look, of course, at how drivers are taking each other's lines and, of course, how they're approaching every single corner out on track. I'm on board with Physical, of course, not a brand new driver, just renamed as, of course, Zero, who was part of the CPI team. Still part of the CPI team. He's obviously just gone for a different name, and he is not on a set of intermediate compound tyres, I can tell you. The glitch obviously on the left hand side. Drivers though could actually use up a set of inters. I've seen it done before here around Australia. Drivers might use a set of inters on their actual outlap, then come into the pit lane, and then obviously they're keeping that fresh compounded tyre towards the end of the race. And judging of course by how the curbs really hit around here, and also by the tyre wear, it could be not a bad call at all for anybody that decides to go on that strategy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like myself yesterday, I pitted on lap 1 on the mediums and went straight to the end, despite being the car very slippery just on this track alone. So, yeah, tyre wear is really good here, but as long as you take very good care of them, if you get that wheel spin here and there for a good like 3 laps in a row, then your tyres will pretty much be done. So tyres, cool, and strategy are very crucial around here.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
As we see, TC has gone second with his second flying lap, so he got those temperatures up to temperature. Temperatures up to temperature, did I say that? Tyres up to temperature on his second run, so good lap from him. Only second for now, but Jensen, obviously he went third, just behind him. As who else is on a lap? It looks like aka Zero, who's on his first final lap. See where he puts him, probably in the top 5, I imagine. Yeah,
coming through turn 13, he's looked very, very consistent, I've got to say, on this lap so far. The Finn, of course, coming through turn number 14, and then in towards Senna and Prost at 15 and 16, then through, of course, Senna at turn 15, and then through Prost at turn 16. Of course, corner names are actually not a given around this track. T-Hawk has retired from the session, and he has become the first DNF, it seems, of the session, and look where he's crashed it, coming through turn 12, otherwise known, of course, around this track, Car Killer Corner.
Yeah, it looks like he got his left rear on the curb too much and got on the power or maybe on the grass even, and spun around and lost his right front tyre, which I imagine, so yeah, not ideal for him, but it might start on those tyres as well, but I don't think that was the plan, so unfortunately he has to suffer with that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, the expectation, I think, would be, obviously, drivers getting a lap time, and Dara, of course, and Baraka, along with the rest of the other 5 that haven't actually set a time so far. They'll be hoping, of course, to try and set up on a lap. Speaking of setting up on a lap, Yona is coming around the final corner to start us off on a lap of the Australian circuit, of course, the Albert Park circuit, of course. Normally, this is a street circuit, and, of course, they're making changes to this in real life. Of course, the premiere for that can be, of course, 11 PM UK time, I've got to say, on the F1 Australian Grand Prix channel on YouTube. Just a little bit of self-promotion from that, as Yona just locks up in towards turn 3 and he's backed off, coming through turn 3 and then through turn 4. And I was going to say, actually, Yona has been in a really good rich vein of form. TTMLF2 especially, which I commentate on a Thursday, he has done an absolute phenomenal job. He's in title contention after only joining, of course, after 4 rounds in the championship, so you can tell how consistent he has been there, picking up 5 out of the last 6 wins. Yona is probably one of the men to watch here tonight. Of course, in that Red Bull, 20.7 currently the personal best in terms of Christmas, TC second, Jensen third. But Yona, obviously, if he gets a lap in, he's probably going to be towards the top end of the field.
Yeah, he just clipped the grass on his braking zone there, which probably just put him up just slightly, but only those little things can put you off around here. The one thing you don't want to touch is curves around here, and obviously the grass as well. It's just an ice ring round here, which is just not ideal. But we're on board with the Mercedes driver. I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry. But yeah, good lap so far. This will be his first banking lap of the afternoon. As Black Box was behind him, he made a little mistake on his first final lap, but this looks really clean. This could be up there with the top guys, I would imagine, as we see Yono get out of the way. Nice and clean on the exit. Christmas done a new fastest lap, 20.4, and he's got a 21.0. Not bad for your first final run, so hopefully he'll go a couple of tenths quicker on his next run.
Yeah, not bad at all. Sapalo, of course, there in 5th position. Christmas there, of course, on top. And actually, it was Christmas. Yeah, it was Christmas that actually brought him into the league. Sapalo there in 5th position. Dara is invalidated coming through the middle sector. Blackbox, by the way, set a lap as well. He's gone into 8th position. Of course, Blackbox is back on the wheel tonight, so that is why he is down towards the back end of the field so far. He's bookending the field, really, in terms of the lap times that have been set so far, as Blackbox now comes through turn number 6 and 7. And he's not looking too bad on this lap, but I got the impression, though, on Sapalo's lap, I've got to say, that his lap time looked considerably quicker than what it actually was. I think it's just one of them false sense of doubt, I think, when it comes to seeing a driver going very quick on a lap. Christmas and MedTC, however, MedTC is just invalidated through turn 1 and just about to start up on a lap there.
Yeah, as Barreca is starting his first flying lap, yeah, I was quite surprised that the Mercedes driver didn't go as further as I thought on this final, on his position, because it looks so clean, it looks so tidy. But unfortunately, it was only good enough for P5, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like for probably Baraka, Jensen and Christmas when they do their final run, as Baraka comes around with a 26.5 in the first sector, fastest of all so far with no traffic at all. When I say traffic, it's just coming up to the two hazards now, but one of them's got out of the way. Just nice, good respect for him. There's another one ahead. Is he going to get out of the way also? He's invalidated his lap, so hopefully he will get out of the way, just so he won't get any dirty air. As he's gone fastest of all in the middle sector as well. It was right on the edge there. I don't know if he catched a little slight of dirty air from the hazard in front, but we'll have to see by that. But either way, he's still fastest of all in the middle sector. And it's all just like straight down to the finishing line from here with no traffic whatsoever. On the edge of the curve with the track limits, he's on the edge of it all here, keeping the car nice and stable, keep that back in straight, and here we go, all the way to the line, DRS open. Is this going to be pole? No, it's not. Only just a 10th off pole. Good first run from Baraka.
Jensen goes behind him, in fact. Jensen goes third, 20.7 as well. He's a 10th and a half off his title rival, of course, in Baraka. Christmas the Wild on top, Baraka in second, Jensen in third. MedTC has just started on another lap. Zapata was a 10th and a half up, coming through the middle sector and invalidated, so unfortunate for him. Physical was on a lap. Blackbox is also there on a lap. I think he's going to come back into the pit lane, however, with him being on low fuel, and also he's invalidated his lap time, and yeah, he is coming into the pit lane there. Physical flying through the first sector. Everyone else, I think, on a lap. MedTC was looking good through the first sector until he invalidated.
I think he got caught in Baraka's dirty air. Baraka was on the racing line by my perspective, so Baraka might be in trouble by that. So yeah, I think Baraka might get in trouble with that for sure. He was in the racing line, as aka Zero, who's right behind him on track, who's still got his lap, still is on a flying lap also. But he is catching up to Jensen, Baraka, and his teammate also. Don't think it was I think it was a personal best in the middle set. You have to wait and see. But as Baraka and Jensen gets out of the way, hopefully, with teammate will do the same. But he's already up the road, so hopefully there won't be any problems for his final stage of his lap. Taking the curb much more carefully this time, as Baraka didn't. Keep it nice and tight. Make sure you don't lose that back end, which he doesn't. He does it nice and perfectly, and it's just a straight run down to the finish line, and it's only P5, but a 4.5 for Hasseltman. Good time from them so far.
Oh,
struggle with that one.
Yona on the limit coming through the middle sector there as well, coming through turn 11 and 12. He hasn't backed off this lap. He was going quite quick before he reached the chicane at turn 11 and 12 and obviously just degraded the speed away. And now through 13 and then towards the final two corners, of course, at 15 and 16. Yona looking to try and go around Baraka Jensen sort of area. He has been quick in the past in other leagues. Yona on the run toward the line. Is he going to go into third? No, he goes fourth, 20.7. Good lap time though by Yona. He's up there in the mix. Christmas the Wild on top, Baraka in second, Jensen in third, and currently Christmas is the one that currently holds the pole position out on track with only 4 minutes to go in the session, and he'll be open, of course, as he checks the new track limits, I've got to say, coming through turn 8 there. Christmas is on pole position for now, 20.4. How much can the drivers eat into in terms of that lap time, though? Because obviously, Baraka's only 600th of a second off him, and then Jensen is only 2/10 off him as well.
Yeah, and I think this is his final set as well, so I think he's used all of his sets already compared to Jensen and Baraka. I believe he's got an extra set for the race. So he's playing it quite well, unusual, I would say. I'm guessing he's hoping for no safety cars, so he can just make the one-stop work. But we'll have to wait and see. He will be the first one across the line to start the final runs. And yeah, would he improve? Well, we have to wait and see as it comes down to turn 1. He's got traffic ahead of him, though. I think that's Lou is just a cutovers, as he has invalid on his final run. No, I wouldn't say final run. Hopefully he's got enough here to do another set. But yeah, unfortunate for him.
I thought I saw something in the background. Dara's lost his front wing, went into the wall. I'm not sure what has happened, but Sapala is backwards going through turn 2 there. Coming on down the track. I'm not sure if there was contact between them both, possibly. And judging by the lag that is coming in, Dara and Sapala, I think they've had contact, yeah. Yeah,
because it seemed unusual the Mercedes driver lost it that far away from turn 2. You would normally lose it right early, so yeah, I think they have collided. Luckily they went on their flying laps, but I think the AlphaTauri is going to not get a final lap in, I don't think.
Unless Dara has made a mistake and crashed it into the wall coming out of turn 2, because Sapala was behind him out on track, and it doesn't look like he's got any front wing damage, Sapala. But look at the way he's going. Obviously, Dara's going a little bit slower than him, and Sapala's literally just trying to get out of the way of people. And speaking of getting out of the way, because Black Box was just reaching this, and obviously he just backed off his lap, has Black Box. Christmas the Lad on top, Baraka in second, Jensen in third. Jensen, I think, has just started on a lap as well, and actually he is nearly a 10th up coming through towards the end of the first sector, so he's actually, it's not indicative so far. But coming through the end of the first sector now, we'll see where Jensen's time is, and he is a 10th up coming through the first sector. It's not purple out of everyone, though, on this lap. He's got to really try and find something here, of course, to try and get close to Baraka, who's obviously in second and a 10th and a half up the road. But Jensen now coming through the chicane of 8 and 9, and then in towards 10 and 11, and then now down in towards 11 and 12. The left-hander and the right-hander, of course, the chicane coming up, and he's a 10th up still. Jensen on a quick lap here, coming through the right-hander, nearly takes it, and he's gone into the wall, and he's lost it into the wall, and he's got left side end plate damage, and I don't think he's going to be getting another run. So Jensen taking too much curb. If you take too much curb, you're going to end up spinning, and he does a Timo Glock of 2008 there, Jensen.
Yep, well, Lou's behind him in the same sector, managed to keep it on the track this time, and he is improving by 2/10. Not the fastest in the middle sector though, so but he should be up there. He might get him to P4 and probably ahead of Jensen. If he does, then he truly deserves it. He's got no traffic ahead of him apart from Baraka, I think, but he should be out of the way, as I believe he is. We'll see if he gets a bit of understeer. Yeah, he's fine. He just managed to avoid the wall, but on straight all the way down the line, getting slipstream as well. And he's P3 ahead of Jensen. So I think with that little bit of slipstream, go on.
Christmas invalidated his lap as well, so I don't think he's going to be getting another lap in. It's 15 seconds from here. He's going to have to try and push if he wants to try and get another lap, unless he's got another 30 seconds on his countdown. remains to be seen. I think Christmas, though, is done in the session. He's running low on fuel, so I think he's done.
Yeah, he's
Christmas
done.
is into the pit lane, so yeah, he is done. Baraka, however, purple out of everyone through the first sector. In theory, he's already quicker than Christmas out on track, so Baraka coming now through in towards turns 9 and 10, the right-hander, and then the left-hander, and then, of course, in towards the fearsome curbs of turn 11 and 12, and Baraka on a flying lap here, coming through the middle sector, 48.1, he's a 10th up through the middle sector, and he gets launched over the curb, coming through turn 11, and luckily, how on earth that is a valid lap, I do not know. That is the funniest thing I think I've seen. But Baraka launched on the curb. Lou is obviously going still in the middle sector there. It's only Yona, I think, that can have a play in. But he's 2/10 down, and he's invalidated as well. Physico is also on a lap, but he is invalidated. That's the end of qualifying. It's Christmas out on top. Baraka in second, Lou in third. And Baraka getting launched over turn 11, the curb at turn 11. How on earth he's kept... Oh, as he fights the car out the final corner. And on to the line, of course, is an invalid lap, but Baraka, well done for that pirouette, I've got to say. But, of course, he was looking for provisional pole, didn't get it. It's Christmas on top, Baraka in second, Lou in third.
Yeah, unfortunately for Baraka, that was the pole lap right there. And I don't know how much, was he up by a tenth or 2/10?
Nearly 2/10.
It was really, really quick until that little spoiler on the quick left and quick right. But that was quite, despite his little, that, it was quite good to see, really. It was just a little ballerina just going across the grass, and he managed to keep it alive. So good driving and control from him, but yeah, it's only PT, and I think he will be strong contention for the race, definitely.
Yeah, really good control, I've got to say, from Baraka there, but he has qualified ahead of his own team. Well, not... Yeah, he's qualified in terms of his own teammate as well. Darren not getting a lap in, so T-Hawk's going to be starting on the top 10 on that set of medium compound tyre, so that could be quite interesting for him. But Jensen starting in 5th position, Baraka there in 2nd, Baraka a 10th and a half clear of Jensen. The form seems to be hitting, and Baraka at the right time, I think. Of course, 3rd last time out compared to Jensen's 4th in Brazil, and now in qualifying, 2nd for Baraka. Jensen there, the championship leader, down in 5th position. But I mean, can't really complain, because the top 8 is covered by 0.5 of a second. Who said 11 drivers in a lobby were boring? Christmas out on top from Baraka in 2nd, Lou in 3rd, MedTC in 4th, Jensen in 5th, with Yona in 6th, Physical in 7th, Sapala in 8th, Blackbox in 9th, and T-Hawk ran off the top 10. Dara rounding off the top 11 drivers that we have, of course, here out on track tonight. If you're wondering why we've only got 11 drivers, well, people obviously prioritising their lives first and foremost, which I totally understand, but it is a league, and you sign up for a league, and you should attend either a majority of the races or every single race. Like, I've only missed one commentary this season. Michael obviously has been interchanging with Charlie in the commentary box. We have not missed a beat in the commentary box. So, if you want an example to follow in terms of FRL F1 this season, follow my example. I've only missed one race.
Yeah, and to be honest, there has been times that you just thought, do you know what, I might just give it a rest. I mean, we've all had that, but if you sign up for something, then you got to do it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the drivers are not here might get a few sticks from the ownership. I'm hoping so anyway.
I think, honestly, to be honest, FRL has always... I will be honest, FRL has always had these problems. In the past, of course, when I was previously a part of the ownership team, and that it has had the past, and of course, it's the top tier. People can think they can get away with it in the top tier. Take F3 and F4, for example, last night. Both tiers had full drivers, 20 drivers. I know there was only 6 finishes in F3, so we'll gloss over that, of course, with Australia being the track it actually is. But in terms of that, F3 and F4, full attendance. F1 tonight, 11. Not really setting a good standard, is it?
It's because, like, when you go into, like, a normal lobby, you just see, like, the normal guy just dominating just a race, or just, like, on top of the world in their other leagues. But when you come into a different league that's got quick drivers like F1, FRL, and you can't compete with them for a change, it just gets to you, and you'll probably think, what's the point? I'm not going to win it. I might as well just not race then. It's just that kind of attitude I can see from, like, some standards in F1, FRL. So, yeah, it is disappointing from our point of view, because, like, we chose to commentate, and we don't really get the drivers to show up for it. No offence to these drivers, because they're showing up for it, despite how many drivers that there is. They're still competing, they're still doing the job that they signed up for, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly, of course. People are committed to this league, as proven by the 11 drivers that we got here. Of course, 2 making their debut, so actually 9 drivers here tonight that are actually physically attending another race, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Of course, getting a little bit of stick there in the comment section, so I will probably ignore that, to be honest. I know who you are. Christmas out on top of Baraka in second, Lumen third. Let's have a look, though, at the top 10. Of course, qualifying on that side of soft companion tyre bar T-Hawk, of course, because he was in the top 10. He retired from the session, but he starts on that set of medium companion tyre, of course, had he set his lap in. Dara, of course, on a set of medium companion tyres as well. Michael, you had first experience of this track last night, of course. What was your strategy, and what is the thinking of the strategy coming into tonight?
I think the strategy is just trying to keep it on the track, especially the first few laps, because your tyres, no matter how much you get your car out with temperature, you will be sliding out of the corners, because it's just the mixer car is so unstable. So yeah, it's just important just to get those few laps in, just to get a rhythm, and then settle the racing against your rivals after that, because it might look easy, but this track is one of the hardest on the game, I have to say.
It is one of the hardest tracks, but that in Singapore, I think. Singapore, which, of course, I'm going to be commentating in the next couple of days, of course, for TTML. That is going to be an absolute, well, fest of probably action and maybe 2008 PK-style crashes. Who knows? We are about to get going, though, here in Australia. It is round number 22 of the championship. Thank God there's only 2 rounds to go after this. But it's Christmas out on top, Baraka in second, Lou in third. We now wait for the drivers to ready up. Hopefully we're just waiting on Sapala to ready up, certainly on my end. And I hope that is going to be first time. It is going to be first time. God, he made me wait. 5 red lights are about to go out here, though, in Australia, and it is. Lights down, away we go, and Baraka gets a better start than Christmas, and he's going to get the run down in towards Termon, and the Spaniard will be ahead of the Dutchman. Running in towards Termon, Baraka takes the lead. Christmas there in second, Lou in third. Everyone else, I think, has cleaned through safely. Lou right on the back of MedTC, just got caught a little bit on the curb, but he's cleaned through safely. MedTC as well. Sapala and Yona nearly fighting side by side. Actually, Sapala dives it down the inside line of Jensen, and Jensen could lose out of position here. The Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes going side by side, of course the 2 Ferraris as well going side by side in the background, but Baraka leading the way. Christmas in second, Lou in third, MedTC in fourth, and through the first half of lap we come. Everyone, gotta say, 11 drivers, very, very clean.
Yeah, they're very clean indeed. I was on board with Black Box at the back, see if there's any incidents. None at all, so good driving from these lot here, as in the next 28 laps ahead. Hopefully it'll be as clean as that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and no one loses a front win or 2 around here. As you see, just Baraka just slowly pulling away from Christmas already, I think. As we see a little move. No, that's just the camera angle. I do apologise. But yeah, it looks like just single file for now for the next lap or 2.
Yeah, going single file, obviously, for the first lap or 2, it's not too bad, because obviously you're going to be stuck in that dirty air, but that will really throw the impetus on how the drivers can manage, coming especially through turn 11 and 12 in terms of the chicane. And actually, there's a yellow flag already. It's Black Box that's around coming through turn 15, so Black Box has spun the car. Don't think he's actually got any damage, it's just a spin by himself. He has recovered the car to get underway, so no VSC or safety car being deployed. On to lap 2, there we go. Baraka in leading the way from Christmas in second, Lou in third, MedTC in fourth. Yes, Mr. Patrick Kenworthy, I do know who you are, Mr. Oxide Nova there in the comment section for the good old FRL fans of old. Baraka leading the way though, Christmas in second, Lou in third, and I've got to be honest, I was ratifying on Oxide a little bit there. He was a very good driver, battled with Montana quite a few times in FRL and TFRL, which I used to own in the past, and of course it's very good to see a familiar face in the commentary, but in the comment section as well. Baraka goes deep in towards turn 9, Christmas on the back of him, but 7/10 clear. Baraka, of course, using up a little bit more ERS, and I think that's all the order of the day, really, with Baraka using around 10% more ERS than Christmas at this early stage, but coming through the chicane for the second time. I'm just flicking through the field, see if everyone is clean through. I think everyone is clean through the chicane once again, which is very good indeed, and Baraka just trying to extend that advantage a little bit.
Yeah, he is, but I see Jensen's not I don't think his tyres are at temperature just yet. He's getting under pressure by the Mercedes reserve driver here, so I don't know if he's got damage. I don't know if he was very cautious. I think he started 4th on the grid as well, so he's lost a place. But yeah, he looks like he's struggling in the minute. but we just have to wait and see now.
Jona's gone for a sprint, coming through the final corner, and he has lost his front wing as well, so he's obviously got caught on the outside curb.
No.
Try to recover the car, and I think he's got into the wall, and Jona, that is on the racing line, by the way, that front wing, and somehow it is green flag racing, even though there's a car coming through as Dara has crashed coming through turn 1, so Australia crashes out as first victim, basically, and Dara is out coming through turn 2, where Bottas, of course, famously went through in qualifying and spun there, and Jona is getting out the way of Black Box, and he lets Black Box through, but it looks as if it's off track, and once again, it is green flag racing, and normally, in real life F1, Michael Massey would have been calling out the safety car there.
He definitely would be, making rules of his own. I'm just going to double check if the safety car is on, just because
Definitely
obviously we
is.
don't have it.
The same settings as usual.
Right, okay. Well, that's shocker then from whoever the new owner is for this race, because that surely should have been a safety car, as it's just terrible to see Jorno just struggle like this. It's not, he really doesn't deserve it with the form he was in for the past month or so. Like he's brought that Red Bull up to life, and now it's all up to Lou now, who's in third place at the minute, putting the pressure on Christmas.
Christmas went very deep though, went towards the final corner there at turn 14 actually, and now he's only 5 tenths away from Baraka. It's not obviously going to be a move down in towards turn 1, but he is closing up in towards possibly turn number 3, which of course is down in towards Whiteford corner at turn 3, and we'll see how he is going to try and get this move done, if he is going to actually go for the move. He uses up the ERS to good effect, he pulls to the outside line, is he going to try and dice it all the way around the outside? He does. Baraka nearly forced him off track, and now the AlphaTauri and the Alfa Romeo go side by side. Otherwise, this would have been his own teammate, and Christmas is going to go all the way around the outside. He switches back, coming through turn 6, and then in towards the chicane of 6 and 7. Lewin behind as well is very close and deep, and Baraka holds on to the lead of the race. Christmas there in second, Lewin third, but they are all ganging up on the back of Baraka, who is going rather slow, I've got to say, in front, and obviously he's trying to back up the pack, trying to back up Christmas and Lew into the likes of MedTC and Jensen further down the field, but Baraka leading the way. Christmas there in second, Lewin third. Baraka has to do it by himself. He's got no teammate to rely on.
Yeah, his teammate just left it on lap 2, but I don't know if this is like championship thinking going on. Is he trying to back...
Oh, Christmas! Down the inside line of turn 13 at a score. He tries to get the move done. The gap was there, albeit very, very aggressive from Christmas, and he is trying to get the move done there. Coming through into 14, and he's not going to go around the outside of here, is he? On the inside of 15, can he get the job done? No, he can't. Everyone is still filtering through behind Baraka, and Christmas loses the time now, running down in towards turn number 1. Baraka leads the way. Christmas in second, Lew in third. Who said you would need 20 drivers to have fun around here in Australia? Baraka leads the way. Christmas in second. I think Christmas is probably going to size this one up down in towards turn 3. This should be an easy move from the Dutchman on the back of the Spaniard in towards turn number 3. Baraka though outbreaks him and nearly forces him off track. It's nearly a collision there, like with the 2 Red Bulls of course in the 2010s. Baraka leading the way, Christmas in second, Lew in third, and still we stay as we are.
Yeah, but how long for Baraka is on the limit of defending that little touch was alright. I think that was just okay, because they're still on the racing. They haven't got damage, and obviously Christmas has still got his position. But yeah, as I was saying, do you think is Baraka trying to get away, or do you think he's trying to back the pack up just so Jensen can go further down the field, just for championship wise?
I think he's trying.
Because you said he's about about 21 points behind with 2 races to go with this. As we see Christmas making the move down the inside.
Christmas makes the move on Baraka down. You know what? Sapala's going to go all the way around the outside of Jensen as well. Through turn 12. What a move this is. Mercedes through on the championship leader. Jensen outgunned by Sapala. No words for a debutant there, but what a move that is. Around the outside of turn 13 at Ascari. Sapala through and he's into 5th position. The championship leader has just been trumped.
Around the outside as well from a debutant as well. Well, you just don't see that, especially on a world champion as well, on a championship contender as well. What a fantastic move from him. Well, hopefully he'll impress the guys ahead as well. So I don't think we've seen a driver like that since the American dude. I can't remember his name, but yeah, what a fantastic move as Christmas leads the way now for the first time. As Baraka is still hanging on there. I don't know what's happened to his pace. He looked quite strong earlier on. looks like he's struggling with something. I'm not too sure. But yeah, he's holding on to Christmas though well, followed by Lou, TC, Mercedes driver as well. It looks like he's dropping Jensen. It looks like as well. So I don't know if it's Jensen is not comfortable around there or Mercedes driver has just got some pure race speed.
He mustn't be. He's definitely not looking comfortable, Jensen, tonight. But then again, I'm going to say this: Baraka is not looking comfortable either, because the gap was 0.7 of a second when Christmas pulled away quite comprehensively. I've got to say, in terms of the raw straight line speed that he's got, and even coming out the final corner there, Baraka struggles within the slipstream and within the dirty air to try and close in on Christmas. Christmas leads the way. Baraka there in second, Lou in third. And, of course, doing a fantastic job. All of our drivers are doing a fantastic job. Darragh, of course, crashing out through turn 2. Didn't deploy a VSC or safety car. Yonan, of course, having a crash coming through the final corner, losing the control of the car, and into the wall he went. And that is why he is down in 10th position. And Blackbox and Teok are well off the pace, I've got to say. 8th and 9th position, probably only going to be picking up points at this stage. Of course, top 10 getting the points here tonight. Chris is though leading the way. Baraka in second, Lou in third as the first 3-second penalty goes to Yona further down the field. And Chris was doing a good job out in front, but Baraka, I've got to say, I'm right on board with him, and he does not look comfortable in that dirty air of the Alfa Romeo in front.
Well, yeah, because with the dirty air and obviously with the curbs as well, it just makes the car very unstable just to follow someone, especially around here. You can see the front end is going so wide and the corner, trying to make him go oversteered, understeer, sorry, into those corners. So it really does bite you, this track, so you just need to be really patient, and basically it's the overcut or the undercut in the pit stops that's going to make all the difference in this race, I believe, as Lou is nearly in the back of Baraka as well. He's eager to get past as well, but he's just made him compromise now from the Haas driver behind of TC.
Yeah, MedTC on the back of Lou, of course. MedTC, formerly known as Hammerlinen, formerly known as Name Changer, formerly known as plenty of other names that the finishers had in the past. And he's there in P4 at the minute under his new requirement, I've got to say, of MedTC. But there he is in 4th position. Of course, MedTC, albeit back in the day, was an F1 Esports Challengers Series driver. Of course, he finished towards the back end of the field, unfortunately, in Challengers, and that's why he's still in FRL at this point. In 4th position, though, he's doing a good job and probably having his best race of the season. Jensen, however, beginning to pick up the pace slightly. Sapala made a mistake coming through turn 14 last time around, and he was close enough to try and get the move done. However, Jensen does not really like this track, I've got to say. He obviously thinks that it's probably more of a fight going into the final 2 rounds of the championship. If he drops points to Baraka, of course, Baraka will be back in play in terms of the championship going into the final 2 rounds of the season. Chris still leading the way, Baraka in second, Lou there in third, MedTC in fourth. Sapala is still under pressure from Jensen, but nobody is close enough for this move at this stage. And by the way, if you are wondering where we are going next week in terms of the action, hopefully we will have more than 11 drivers around this track as well. I will tell you quite comprehensively that it is Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, which I absolutely love to commentate on. It's always good for action.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to commentating around there as well. I see Lou comes in the pits for his first stop. I think is he going to go straight on the mediums unless he has damage? I'm not too sure. He's got no damage. He's going straight on the medium tyres. I think he might get to the end, as it is pit window open for most of the drivers, as the Mercedes guy has got a 3-second penalty by the pressure of Jensen. Now Jensen is slowly putting pressure on now. Now the Mercedes driver has, he's still got DRS from the Haas driver.
Ooh.
But yeah, Jensen.
Lou needed also coming out the pit lane. He had a snap, a complete snap. He just basically forced too much power on the throttle, and he nearly spun it. Where Daniel Ricciardo crashed, of course, hitting the little ditch on the inside of the pit lane. Basically, that's where Lou nearly went off. He's still in the race, of course. He didn't spin, but slight moment, he did lose time as a result. So Lou, I think, having a little bit of a moment coming out the pit lane, doesn't want to wish he does that again, as Baraka is now attacking Christmas for the lead.
Yeah, what, did he lose by 2/10 or 3/10? Like, how much did he lose?
About 4/10 of a second. Here comes Baraka on Christmas down the inside line in towards the Ascari corner at 13, and he gets the move done, and that is why your championship rival is 4 positions behind you now. Baraka leads the way. Christmas in second, MedTC in third. The gap coming into tonight, by the way, was 24 points. At this stage in the race, Baraka will be more than half in it, and the gap will be down to 9 points.
Yeah, good move from Baraka, especially Lou made his pit stop, so Baraka will need to push, because I think when the pit stops are going to be coming, as Jensen is also pitting with TC, but yeah, I think Lou, when all the pit stops are done, I think Lou might be leading the way.
He could well be indeed, yeah. Lou coming through the final corner. Of course, Teoka's just in front. It'll be very interesting to see where MedTC comes out. And actually, MedTC is going to be side by side with them. And again, he's the one that needed to lose the control of the car. Jensen not so much coming in towards turn one, but MedTC out. And there was a yellow flag. And then it's Sapala round. Sapala is round coming through turn number 4. Luckily, he's got the car restarting. He's got the car going in the right direction. No front wing damage, I don't think. So I think that's just a spin on the curb. And Sapala now pretty much out of contention in terms of a top 5, and he nearly goes for another spin coming through the right-hander. He's just got to be careful, run to the racing line, just do not overrun the throttle, and you'll be fine to try and get back into the pit lane, as Baraka now extends the gap to Christmas by 7/10 of a second, coming out the chicane on the 10th lap.
Yeah, he's putting away just slightly, but yeah, the Mercedes driver has pretty much got no tyres now. He is struggling on the exit of corners. He's done that pretty well, so, but yeah, he's going to be pitting this lap. As you see, Lou is closing up to Teoka a bit, as TC's got a 3-second penalty.
Oh! Christmas has gone into the back of Baraka, and Baraka gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Christmas into the back of Baraka. He's got front wing changes. He needs a front wing change as well. I've never seen anything like that coming into the pit lane. Christmas into the back of Baraka. Baraka has got a 5-second penalty. Sapala's done exactly the same, and he's sped into the pit lane. And now Teok is in the lead, but Baraka has got an opportunity here to just come out ahead of Lou. And Lou is going to be side by side with him, coming down in towards turn number 3. So Baraka, with that 5-second penalty, which I think will get removed, Lou on the back of him, in towards turn number 3. Is he going to get the move done? He has to force it all the way around the outside. And the AlphaTauri just about hangs on in second. But my oh my, drama here. Basically, Christmas, what he did there, Baraka slowed down enough before the pit lane entry to obviously get the speed down before you come into the pit lane. Christmas didn't. Christmas locked up basically into the pit lane, ran into the back of him, and that's why Baraka picked up that 5-second penalty. So I think if I was Baraka, I'd be wanting to get that removed hand over fist, because I think it should be removed.
Yeah, I think it definitely will be removed. I think Christmas was just keeping an eye on where he was going to brake instead of looking at the brake marker board, I believe, and in deserve of that he gets a front wing change as well. So he's lost time, but so yeah, Baraka is in a very good position now. As long as he doesn't get heat hold up by T-Hawk, I think he's got a good chance of winning this now.
Well, he's got to try and channel the heat in behind, of course, with Lou on the back of him. Teok is obviously going onto that sort of soft componentized later on in the race. So Teok, I think, what does he want to do? Does he want to hold up one of the championship leaders and then force Jensen back into contention? Or does he obviously want to try and get out of the way of this battle and then just run his own race further down the field? Baraka, they're in second, Lou in third. Lou had a moment coming out the final corner, and MedTC on the back of him as well. And MedTC also had a good moment coming through turn 12 last time around, as Lou falters in behind Baraka for now. 1.5 seconds a gap for the lead between Teok and Baraka. Baraka there in second, and of course he has got that 5-second penalty overreaching him so far, as he nearly catches the curb coming through turn number 5 there. But Baraka there in second. There are the penalties, by the way. MedTC on 3, Physico on 3, Sapala on 8 seconds, including that 5-second speed into the pit lane, and Yona is on 6 seconds. Baraka, of course, that 5-second penalty. We think, I certainly rolled on board with it on the stream, I definitely think it should be removed because it was Christmas's mistake, and you would want to probably add the 5-second penalty onto Christmas himself because he didn't get one.
Yeah, it will get removed. I mean, he chose where to break in the pit lane, and he had a right to do so. And I think Christmas was just too close to do that. I think he was just too busy trying to get the jump on him in the pit stop, and it backfired on him. And now he's behind his teammate now. So does he want to? Does he? Is he going to get the call to overtake Jensen? I really doubt it right now.
Definitely not. Baraka, however, will look to try and overtake Teal'c running down the straight in towards turn number 1. Teal'c, I think, is just going to defend to the inside line and force Baraka to the outside line, and Teal'c's not going to make life easy for Baraka, but in the end it is very easy because Baraka waltzes around the outside of turn 1, gets the job done, and he is through and he's into the lead of the race, and Teal'c now is under pressure because he has a moment coming out of turn 2, and now Lou is on the back of him and nearly through, and Teal'c actually dives it down the inside line in towards turn number 3 and brings BTC now through, and Lou on the inside line is having to defend for position, and Teal'c gets out of the way of everyone, which I think is sensible, and now it's side by side with Lou hanging on the position, somehow going around the outside of turn 5. Lou is in second, MedTC in third. MedTC, I think, picked up a penalty in all of that as well, if I'm not mistaken. He's on 3 seconds now. Jensen right on the back, and this now puts Baraka, as a result, 2.2 seconds clear. So, the question that I asked early on, Baraka, would Teal'c get in the way and involve the championship leader? No was the answer because he waltzed around the outside, but he has got in the way still, with Lou there in second and MedTC in third, and they're 2.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, and that's just releases Baraka now, and it makes Lou to go in defensive, and he's just get overtaken by DC now. So I don't know if that's just pure frustration now, or...
And Christmas goes around the outside of turn 12 as well, on turn 13 on Teal'c as well, obviously with fresher tyres. Still a lovely move though by Christmas, and he was 4.5 seconds down coming out the pit lane. Look at how far he's behind now. He's only 1.3 seconds behind the back in front.
Yeah, they're battling really hard as Lou has got some tremendous straight line speed just by on board with Jensen. So he's got straight line speed. I'm not sure about the cornering now, and as we see, DC is just pulling away from Lou. I don't know if Lou's got some kind of end plate damage because of
Yona's crash coming through turn number 12, and that's a VSC. VSC deployed. It helps Teal'c massively. He's just coming out the pit lane, and it's a full safety car, so it even helps him even more. And he is on a set of soft compound tyre compared to everyone else on a set of mediums. I would imagine everyone is just going to stick on the same strategy and obviously not go for a set of soft compound tyres because they may not make it towards the end. But first safety car of the evening, believe it or not, it's only lap 14 and we've had the first safety car of tonight. Baraka out on top, MedTC second, Lou in third, now under safety car conditions of course, and Tapala has picked up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Speeding under the safety car even.
Well, that's clumsy from him, isn't it? I mean, if you're not following the rules, you've got to take the punishment, and he certainly has to there. With 3 laps, he has to do is drive through, and that's definitely putting out contention now, unless there's another safety car. But yeah, all of Baraka's hard work now has just been dragged away from him. But now, is he going to go full send on the safety car restart, or is he going to just try and back up the pack even more to frustrate Jensen a bit more? Because he's got some...
Interesting. MedTC's into the pit lane. Onto a set of soft compound tyres, he will go. Everyone else has stayed out. Baraka has stayed out. I thought MedTC would have just stayed out there, and obviously on fresher tyres compared to Lou, who was obviously 2 laps more inferior in terms of his tyres. MedTC's got the fresher tyres, but he's gone onto a set of softs. But Sapala obviously coming into the pit lane as well to serve up his drive-through penalty, which will be served. In fact, actually, he's coming into the pit lane for a 5-second penalty, in fact, that he's being served up. Teal'c is back into the pit lane as well. Throws this race completely wide open, I think, now.
Yeah, with the drive-through penalty, he can't do it under safety car, unfortunately. You can't do that, otherwise you're just going to get away scot-free. As Teal'c is back on the mediums, he doesn't think the softs will make it that far. I think they personally will, as we've seen yesterday, but the tyre deck will be so low to the soft runner, so TC will be struggling, but he will be comfortably the fastest car out there probably for the next 7 laps, but he needs to get moves done as soon as possible. He can't afford to wait around in the dirty air with other cars.
Yeah, I've seen, honestly, set of soft compound tyres around here. If you're very good on your tyres, you're going to be getting 18, 19 laps possibly out of them. I've certainly seen it on the last game before. This is my first commentary around Australia this season, so I don't know what it is like on this game compared to the last game. But if it's anything like the last game, of course, we will be seeing drivers, MedTC and Black Box certainly going at least 16 laps on that set of soft compound tyre towards the end of the race. Top 6 still, of course, Baraka, Lou, Jensen, Crispus, Physico and MedTC, of course, coming out the pit lane in a really good bit of form, actually. MedTC has been in, I think, this race so far. He's on that fresh set of soft compound tyre, inevitably trying to go for the race win. Sapala there in 7, Teal'c and 8, Black Box and 9 cars still running here in FRL F1 tonight. I'm going to tune into F2, by the way, because it's probably a damn sight better than what we're getting in F1 at the minute. It is Speldenar leading the way, I believe. Bunty second, Yana in third. They look like they've just had a safety car as well. Still very close racing in between. And they got 15 drivers in F2. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I really pity old Stephen and Ballboy tonight.
Yeah, it just shows that the quicker drivers regularly, just in this game in general, just doesn't want to be beaten, basically. And that's just how I see it, from a driver that doesn't like being beaten in the past himself. But yeah, it's just one of those things, and it is really pathetic. Really, you just can't take it on the chin. Basically, the phrase that I say, if you don't like it, then get faster. Yeah, that's what some people have done, and I think over the years, racing with T-Hawk, he's improved massively, and obviously Christmas as well, who started off as a reserve in F2 last season, and now he's competing with the big boys in F1, fighting for wins also.
Yeah, which I think is absolutely fantastic, obviously. To answer Seth's question, by the way, in the comments section, we spoke about it earlier on. Certainly our opinion is that the 5-second penalty, in my opinion, I'm sure Michael will agree with me as well, Baraka's 5-second penalty should get removed. Christmas basically forced him more speed, basically, over the pit limiter line, and that is why he picked up that 5-second penalty. Caught it on stream, so it's clear as day to anyone that might want to watch this back later on. The safety car, however, is going to come in this lap, but we certainly think Baraka should get that 5-second penalty removed. So clearly, he is actually leading this race with no penalties if he does get that removed. Baraka, though, is now the virtual Burt Marlander. He is now the virtual safety car, and he'll be hoping, of course, to try and back up the pack in a very consistent manner. I think Baraka, though, the way he's actually approaching the safety car restart, he's slowing them up and then obviously quickening up. I think he's going to go quite early here.
Well, that's how I like to do my restarts. But on this game, though, I think the game automatically slows you down, as it happened to me yesterday when I was leading the way. So I think it was automatically slowed down, but he does have control right now, and obviously the safety car is now in the pit lane now. So I think he might go on the very last second of the last corner, by the looks of it. Taking the wide line, wheel spin, and off he goes. Yeah,
you're nearly right, actually. He goes through the final corner, and Baraka on the run towards the line. It's actually caught some drivers napping, like T-Hawk further down the field, but MedTC already on that sets us off compound tyres is already through on physical. Down in towards turn 1, it's through, and actually Sapala is going to try and follow through as well. And Sapala on the outside line through 2, physical gets literally butchered out the way there slightly, but the Haas remains in P7. I think he was not going to have any sort of grip, I think, on that set of medium compound tyres, of course, compared to Sapala, who was on 2-lap old mediums compared to physical and 6-lap old mediums. You know which one I'd be on. Baraka leading the way, Lou in second, Jensen third. Very clean restart, apart from that little bit of contact between Sapala and Physico. Physico might want to report that incident, of course. He might have forced the move. MedTC, though, on the back of Christmas, down in towards turn 9 and 10, thought he was going to try and dive it down the inside line like I channeled in the past here in FRL around here in Australia. I don't think I even finished the race, if I'm not mistaken, around Australia. But MedTC, on that sort of soft compound tyres, already through and he's into 5th position. Now got Christmas up and running. And you can just see, coming through the chicane there, Christmas is the rolling roadblock, and now, literally with the grip and literally with the EOS in enabled, MedTC is going to fly past Christmas as if he's not even there. So MedTC through, and he's into 4th position. And now Sapala diving it down the inside line of Christmas as well, in towards 10-14, doesn't get the move done, and Christmas remains in P5 for now. But it just comes to show, fresh compound tyre around here, and look at how much grip you've got.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's not hanging around. He doesn't need to be hanging around. If he's in that day, yeah, he's just going to hurt those front tyres, so he won't have the grip later on in the race. But he's doing a perfect job so far, and he's already at the all over Jensen. And he's already got the run on him as well without DRS, so he might sail around the outside. Yeah, he's just letting through. So he's got a perfect race so far, unless his tyres go off at the end, which I think they will. But also he's carrying that 3-second penalty, but he's doing a great job so far.
The way he's coming through the field, he's going to be leading the race in probably 2 or 3 laps time, I would imagine. If he picks up the pace still, MedTC is going to be winning this race maybe by around 6-7 seconds, even with the tyres going off towards the end of the race. But it all depends on how he gets through the pack at this early stage in the race. Apollo's picked up a 3-second penalty as he's actually spun coming through turn 5.
Yeah, on the curb as well. He took too much curb and the back end just stepped out. He really went spin right round all. I can't even get the pun out. Basically, he went round and round so many times. I'm surprised he's not dizzy or retired at this point.
No from wing, of course, for Sapalo. They're down in 9th position. He's still continuing on. He may as well continue. We're getting points of still 4 P9, of course, and upwards. Minimum 2 points, of course, for Sapala. And he's crashed once again, coming through the middle sector, certainly going slow. Here comes MedTC, though, on the back of Lou. DRS is enabled, but I don't think he will need the DRS to complete this move. MedTC on the outside line. Lou, though, forces it back down the inside line. It's more of an aggressive side to Lou that we're seeing. He just got caught on the left side end plate slightly. I wonder if there's a little bit of damage on the car. MedTC, is he going to go try and go for the move in towards turn number 3? Tries to get the switch back now through Whitefoot corner at turn 4. Does he get the move done? Not quite. And Lou remains in P2. MedTC in 3rd. And now MedTC has got a big roadblock, of course, and Lou in the way. And Baraka, as a result, is flying up the road. He might not even need that 5-second penalty removing at this stage. 2.1 seconds the gap, and Lou is doing a fantastic job to keep basically AlphaTauri ahead of Red Bull once again in the constructor standings as Lou gets all out of shape, and now MedTC right on the back. It looks like it's a little bit laggy, I've got to say, from Lou's perspective, and he's not even going to try that around the outside of turn 11 and 12. If he wanted to try and do that move, I would have paid him a $5. As MedTC now pulls the outside line in towards 7-13, easy move, waited for it to perfection, and MedTC through and he's into 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's getting to Lou's head a little bit. That was aggressive defensive move in the turn 1, but luckily both drivers are still in it. Yeah, I think he's just frustrated. He lost so much time to Baraka, and I think he might have damage actually, because now TC is dropping him now. Yeah, he's got the soft tires, but even still, he's dropping him quite massively, as now the Alfa Romeoness now is the next to pounce on him. So I don't know if he's got front wing damage or not, but we have to wait and see.
Maybe so. Well, obviously he's on 11 lap all medium compounded tyres, so obviously they're going to be a real struggle towards the end of the race. Jensen there in behind is only a lap fresher, but he is looking like he's managing his tyres very well indeed. This is the characteristic of Jensen as MedTC's in the wall, and he's crashed out through turn 5, lost it on the outside curve. That's bound to be a safety car, and it is a safety car. MedTC round. He had the world at his oyster, he had the world at his feet to try and get the race win. And he spins it, coming through the exit of turn 5, which catches another driver out. We saw Zapala just a lap ago do the same thing. And MedTC out the race deploys the 2nd safety car of the night, with Baraka now handed a freebie. What a driver's going to do now, obviously with the safety car coming out. Do you know what? If I was them, I'd be pinning for a soft compounded tyre and having a real go towards the end of the race.
Yeah, it could do. I mean, there's only 8 drivers now, so you can just gamble it now, because there won't be much drivers to overtake when you look from their point of view. But yeah, if you go for the softs, you go for the softs. They can definitely go to the end. 9 laps. When the safety car comes in, there'll be 7 laps to go.
He's in.
As Baraka's in. But that 5-second now, that's going to be automatically removed. And I don't think it can be removed by the stewards, as it's been served underneath the safety car.
Interesting, both Ferraris are staying out as well. T-Hawk and Black Box are staying out, so now T-Hawk is in the lead of this race. Unbelievable, it's like good old days of FRL. This Black Box there in 2nd. Jensen is now ahead, of course, of Baraka. Will he be ahead of Baraka coming out the pit lane as he goes through an Alfa Romeo? That was quite funny to see, but he is behind Jensen. Baraka is now behind Jensen, and this, in terms of the championship, is big news, because Jensen is now outscoring Baraka. Obviously not enough to pick up the win here tonight, I've got to say, in the race, or to obviously pick up the championship victory in the final 2 rounds of the season. He'll obviously go towards Saudi Arabia and, of course, the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. But T-Hawk leading the way, Black Box in 2nd, Lou in 3rd. Is it an inspired decision for both Ferraris to stay out, or have they made the wrong call?
To be honest, I don't think T-Hawk really minds at this point, because I think all season long he knew he wasn't the competitive, he was always the stand-in. So I think he's happy to take this gamble, as the tyres will still be at their best on here on the mediums, and plus he's got Black Box behind him. I don't know why he didn't pit it, but he can be T-Hawk's back marker, just to help him out a little bit to get that 3 seconds. But it's quite nice to see having a 1-2 Ferrari back in the day, and actually T-Hawk leading a race for a change, which I don't think he has done in F1 so far. Just provisional race lead anyway. So yeah, that's good to see. But this is going to be very interesting of how Lou's going to take this, how Jensen's going to take this, how Baraka's going to get past. Who's going to be the aggressive one with 7 laps to go after the safety car?
If we go back on form, Baraka, I think, should try and get Jensen off the safety car reset. You can actually see Baraka, he's running very high revs, and that is an indication that he's got more fuel in that car than actually necessary. So Baraka, with that 5-second penalty now getting removed, of course, in the pit lane, this now means Baraka has got to do it out on track. And if we go back to his first stint, Baraka struggled on that first stint, on that sort of soft compound tyre, of course, now being behind Jensen and Lou, with the 2 Ferraris still staying out, of course. Baraka's got it all to do. He's going to be really under pressure from Physico, especially, I think, from Christmas in behind. And do you know what? If I was a betting man, which I normally am, Christmas, I think, might win this because he showed superior pace on that sort of soft compound tyre on the first stint. Then he went, of course, before the second stint, before the safety car, this safety car came out, he was rapid, catching up to the back of the rest of the field. Christmas on that sort of soft compound tyre, if he's got the pace, he might make a mockery out of this field with just 7 laps to go.
Yeah, but if he gets past Baraka straight away before Baraka gets past Jensen, will Jensen make him hold station just for championship standings alone? Because whatever point is crucial now, will Christmas stay back and support his teammate? I'm not too sure about that, but I am still quite surprised though Baraka didn't stay up, because he had the pace on the mediums. Yes, the guys behind him have got fresh softs now. They could easily be the fastest, but overtaking's not that easy, and plus he could have easily got that 5-second removed. And with T-Hawk staying out and Black Box staying out, it could have been a win coming his way, but obviously we never knew what the Ferrari was going to do at the time. But yeah, I think that was a big loss for Baraka.
I think it's a massive loss for Baraka. If he didn't have that 5-second penalty, safety car's going to be coming in this lap. If he didn't have that 5-second penalty, he probably would have been in the lead of this race after the end of this next lap. No given about it, because he would have been ahead of Lou, would have been ahead of Jensen, and he probably still would have been possibly ahead of T-Hawk and Black Box as well. And at that 5-second penalty, obviously didn't get served up. He's still, though, in 5th position. Obviously, the safety car's brought everything together. He's still in a really favourable position to try and take a race win here, of course, tonight. But T-Hawk, now the virtual Bert Marlander, the famous German, of course, in the in the safety car, and now he is realising his own dream. He wants to get on with it. Black Box doesn't. I wonder if Black Box is maybe holding the rest of the field back here for T-Hawk to try and get a free run onto lap number 23, and T-Hawk now backs up the pack in towards 15, and then to the right-hander of 16, and now he's about to say go. He's waiting very long time to try and get this race underway. Now at the final corner he says go, so T-Hawk will lead down in towards turn number 1. Christmas is already through on Physical, might have to give that position back, but it is green flag racing, and Christmas is already through on Physical, so caught him napping completely. T-Hawk though leading the way through turn 1, Black Box in second, Lou in third, and now Lou on the back of Black Box to the inside line. The Red Bull will go on the Ferrari, and this should be an easy move from Lou down the inside line in towards turn number 3 at Whiteford corner. He does get the job done, he's through and he's into third, and Jensen goes around the outside. Black Box is literally like a rolling roadblock, but Raka goes around the outside of him as well. Christmas is on the inside line, and he's now the one that's actually held up. Baraka held up slightly in that as well. He made a slight mistake coming out of turn 5, and Sapala, I should say, is trying to go all the way around the outside of Physical. There's getting a little bit physical out on track as we now come through turn 7 and then in towards the chicane of 9 and 10. Sapala all the way around the outside of Physical. What a move that is! They were inches apart. What a move that was by Sapala. He is through and he's into 7, the king of the overtaking tonight. But T-Hawk is all under pressure for the race lead.
Yeah, but it's fascinating to see just T-Hawk leading this race, but he's all over pressure by the Red Bull of Lou and Jensen as well, and Baraka as well. This is probably his lifetime dream of racing these guys wheel to wheel. But he's still hanging on though. He's managed to hang on for a whole lap. I hope he managed to hold on for another lap indeed. As we see Mercedes get past Black Box, he's really struggling now. I think he should have pitted. That's via full safety car. As we see T-Hawk getting under pressure now. Jensen is closing now. He's putting the pressure. So is Baraka on him as well. Here comes Christmas to join the fight as well.
Look at the run that Jensen's got coming out of turn number 2. He's side by side with Lou. Lou's going to try and force him to the outside line. He'll have to dive T-Hawk if he's not careful down the inside line. And actually, what was not going to be a move might turn out to be the best move we've seen all race. Lou on the inside line now for 5. Gets the job done. Forces T-Hawk out wide and now Jensen is through. And he's into second. Opens up a whole can of worms in behind as Baraka is now through. May the championship battle begin to commence. Lou, Jensen and Baraka the top 3. T-Hawk force out the way. He will not be happy by that at all. Might report that as Jensen tries to go all the way around the outside of Lou, and T-Hawk's into the back of Baraka. T-Hawk into the back of Baraka, and he's now down in 4th position. So Baraka losing favourably compared to Jensen. What on earth is happening here in Australia? I do not know. Lou leading the way. Jensen in second. Jensen is in with a shout of the race lead as he's now going to force the move on the outside line in towards Ascari at turn 13. T-Hawk is round coming through turn 12, but Jensen all the way around the outside of Lou. Can I get the move done? And Lou is still in the lead of the race. Breathe, everyone. Breathe.
I need a breathe. I need an airbag because that was just an amazing and tragic thing for T-Hawk and probably for Lou getting compromised now by Jensen, as Jensen's still putting the pressure on Lou as DRS is now enabled now. Literally every driver is in a second of each other. I don't know who's going to come out on top. I don't know who's going to make the move.
Physical nearly went into the back of Black Box as well, just in behind down in towards someone. I think Physical should just wait and then go for the move on the outside line now in towards turn number 3. He is going to try and fight it, but Black Box, given to his credit, he's on 11 lap old softs, but to his credit, he's going to be outdone around the outside, surely here by Zero. He's on the inside line for 5. Backs off though, does Physical, and Black Box stays ahead for now.
Yeah, that you can't go side by side through there. That just does not work. Otherwise, someone's going to be in the warm as T-Hawk. He's come in for a fresh stuff. I think he got front wing damage by him, Baraka. Unfortunate for him. Hopefully he'll get past that to get the extra point as Jensen is closing on Lou. Nothing's going to happen though. He's going to hang back for this next DRS zone.
I think here for it's going to be more Baraka Christmas, I think, this move. Jensen to the outside line, though, on Lou will get the move done, and Christmas has to defend hard from Baraka in behind, and Christmas just about keeps the move. Of course, there is no Constructor standings up for grabs, because Alfa Romeo have already wrapped up the Constructor standings. It is a battle between Red Bull and AlphaTauri, and if they're not careful, Sapala is going to be involved in this as well. Jensen now leads, unbelievably, here in Australia. I don't know how he's leading. Lou in second, Christmas in third, but I did say, watch out for Christmas on this restart. He's already up into third position. Lou and Jensen are just going to continuously attack each other, and Christmas in behind is probably going to lap this up and try and think about the move. If not, he is going to be under pressure on Baraka, and Baraka, I think, has got to try and force the move. Diving down the inside line, and he's gone careering into the side of Lou, and literally championship hopes for Baraka might have just well and gone up in flames.
Yeah, and that'll be front wing damage as well, and side pod damage for probably Lou as well. That was a big hit as well. I don't know. It just got to his head. I really think it just got to his head because he was no pressure. He was no pressure from behind. He was the last car in that group. So, yeah, I think he just got caught napping. And I think, obviously, the championships is not over because obviously he's still got enough points to continue. But that's just ballooned his championship hopes now.
He's got to finish the race. Baraka has got to finish the race. If he DNFs, Jensen, I think, might be crowned champion. If he's got enough points. Lou on the back of Christmas. Christmas there in third. It seems to have not affected them too much. Lou is on the back of Christmas, and Christmas is actually the one that is under pressure from his fellow countrymen. And Lou, not around the outside of turn 16. I have done that move before, though, but it's so enticing. Try and go over on the outside of your rival, but it's not going to be the case. He's now going to dive it to the inside line. Christmas has forced him nearly all the way in towards the ditch across the pit lane, and Lou is throwing his into P3. Nearly got the vibes of Montana and Di Fletcher back in the day, and there's a crash, and Sapala has crashed. Coming through, turn number 2. I think it's too late for a safety car, unless it's a lap safety car. I think it's too late. Sapala has crashed. Out of second position, out of the race he goes on his debut. Jensen now 3.5 seconds to lead. Jensen may as well just cruise this home.
Yeah, and to be honest, despite the little contact lap before, Baraka's still in fourth where he started. Pretty much the order that it was before Mercedes tried, and as Baraka comes through. Oh, he spun, he's gonna.
Christmas forced him off track there. I've got to be honest, I saw that, and Christmas looked like he weaved across track, put Baraka on the grass. And I mean, if this, I complained at the 11 drivers, but Christmas is driving there. I've got to be honest. You belong in F3 or F4, I think, with that sort of driving. Physical now on the back of Christmas is going to get the move done. Down in towards turn number 13, does get the move done, and he's through and he's into third position. But I think this race, honestly, overshadowed by really dirty driving standards, if I've got to be honest, especially in the final few laps of the race. Jensen leading the way, Lou in second, Physical in third. Christmas there in fourth. He has, obviously, I think, got a little bit of damage, actually, as well, from that little collision with Baraka. But Baraka's championship hopes... You defend cleanly and fairly out on track. That was not cleanly and fairly. So please watch the stream back later on.
Well, can I ask, were you on board all the way in that first sector, second sector? Like, did he come across, or did Christmas pick this line?
I think Christmas came across on Baraka, albeit I was looking down my iPad actually and sort of half looked at it, but from what I saw, certainly, it looked like Christmas was weaving across on the right hand side basically when they come out the corner. So say here, with Christmas coming out the corner now, he basically weaved off to the right hand side there, and Baraka got forced on the grass and took too much grass, and obviously he ended up spinning the car. Now T-Hawk is in a battle with him. This is for the final point scoring position, unbelievably, in 6th and 7th. And honestly, 6th and 7th would be an absolute driver's dream. Baraka there in 6th, probably not his race, probably will come back an absolute rant and rave, I've got to say, in the Discord later on. But Jensen leading the way. Does he deserve this victory? No. But in the whole scheme of things, in the second half of the race, he's been the cleanest driver out of everyone.
Yeah, he just stayed out of trouble, really, and it's just... Basically, it was like a turntable. It went Baraka's way, and suddenly now it's Jensen's way, pace-wise as well. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Jensen deserves this race on paper. I think Baraka still should have won it, but yeah, but there's no questions about it. He's just done a fantastic drive, as always. He's done all season, and just pretty much just stayed out of trouble, which he needs to do in these crucial times.
Yeah, Baraka's dive was obviously worse. I totally agree. Baraka's dive was completely worse than what actually happened there. But that level of driving, I've got to say, this is F1, remember? That's not F1 standard of driving, I'm sorry. Jensen, 3.6 seconds clear. Probably on the most uneventful final lap you'll ever see here at FRL F1. Jensen leading the way, 3.5 seconds clear of Lou. Physical picks up a penalty, and that might come back to bite him, because Christmas is losing time. Luckily for him, he's 2.8 seconds behind, though. That could be quite close. Christmas could still be on the podium. Whether or not he will get that podium remains to be seen by the stewards. But Jensen coming through now, turn 13, and in toward the final 3 corners out on track. It has not been the easiest race for Jensen. He has been on the back foot, I would say, for 26 out of the 29 laps, and the rest of the time he has been out in front in the lead. Jensen around the final corner, definitely, I don't think he deserves this race, but he's going to pick it up anyways. Jensen around the final corner to win here in Australia. Lou in the end will finish second. Luckily for Physical, he is going to finish in third, with Christmas dropping off as a result of damage by the looks of it. He's there in 4th position, and actually Physical's got more penalties than him, so Christmas there third. Black Box in the end is 4th. How on earth is Black Box 4th? I do not know. Physical in 5th. Just comes to show, even with 11 drivers, we still have relatively good racing first half. Second half, not so much. But Baraka coming around the final corner, he's going to come across the line to finish in P6, and T-Hawk there to finish across the line in P7. And Baraka also picks up the fastest lap of the race. He does pick up that extra point as well. But crazy ending to that race in Australia. Driver of the day, what about the in-game fans, is Jensen. And do you know what? I'm going to give it to Jensen, because in the end, he was on the back foot, as I say, but the cleanest driver always wins.
Yeah, I'm going to have to fully agree with you on that. I think all the other drivers have done their fair shares of hard defending and attacking, as we have seen. But Jensen just really stayed out of it, and he just picked his way through the table, and he just came out of nowhere, really, despite having a very poor first stint. And yeah, from my point of view, he is one of the drivers who does deserve it. I don't think he was the driver who should have won it, but either way, driver of the day also from my point of view.
Yeah, if Sapala stayed in that race, I probably would have gave it to him because he drove a phenomenal race on his debut,
Yeah,
albeit with 12 seconds
definitely.
worth of penalties. But Sapala drove a fantastic race. If he doesn't lose it by himself, he was in second at the time, probably would have got driver of the day. So honourable mention there for Sapala. But Jensen is the race winner from 5th position on the grid. Lou there in 2nd, Crispus there in 3rd. Unfortunately, no Crispus presents coming his way, I think, after that. Black Box there in 4th, Physical and Faith Baraka in the end in 6th, disappointing. T-Hawk in 7th, Sapala there in 8th. He didn't get classified within the results because he didn't finish. Med-TC as well, and the rest of the field, just looking back on the stream, it was, of course, Yona and Dara that both ended out of the race as well. I think... hopefully, we'll be able to get some interviews in. Shall we go to the interviews party?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. I think there might be a little bit of beef, possibly, within this party as we go in. And I'm going to rejoin that now, as soon as I get the invite, which I think is through. I just need to negotiate my way through. Yeah, just need to negotiate my way on. And there we go. We should be able to join very soon indeed. It is going to be quite interesting because... obviously, of that driving stand, I've got to say, in the final laps of that race, pretty poor, I've got to say, from an F1 standard, and hopefully the drivers might just have a few words to say as we get into the interviews party. I need to come off blue screen, that would be helpful. We can speak, though, to our P1 winner, and that is, of course, Jensen. And Jensen, fantastic drive from your perspective, cleanest driver on the grid by far, I've got to say, especially in the second half of the race. Did you deserve that win? Because you looked like you were on the back foot completely in that race.
I mean, I'd say I got a bit lucky, but in the end I played the cards right in the end. I don't know what happened. I think apparently Baraka sent it or something into turn 3, but I think come the end of race pace it was pretty good. I'd say I half deserved it. I don't know where do you put it, but it's a bit unfortunate there because the gap was so close in the points now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't sound like you're more enthusiastic in terms of getting the race win. Talk us through it though, because you obviously got the overtake done, I think, with around 5 laps to go in the race. Were you always setting your sights on the race win, given, of course, how that first safety car played out?
I was setting my eyes on a podium. I was like hoping Macho, like, because he was up front with Baraka, the aim for us was for Macho to win the race, to try and limit like the gaps, but in the end he made contact into the pits, which sent him backwards. I think the safety car recovered us a little bit, but in the end he got damaged again as well, so it could have been a 1-2, which unfortunately it wasn't, but yeah. Yeah,
it could have been a 1-2. Obviously, we'll come on to the slight incident, shall we call it, between Crispus and Baraka with just the penultimate lap of the race to come. We'll come on to that in a second, of course, when we speak to Crispus. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions for Jensen?
Not really. I mean, you were struggling in that first stint on your softs by the looks of it. You're pretty much on the back foot as well. So did you do like 2 laps on those tyres in qualifying? Were they just the same set? Or was it just not just a good feel at all in the first stint? Because after your first pit stop, you were pretty much still comfortably up there with the leaders and just picking yourself one by one by incidents, really. So, yeah, did you just I can't even get my words out. Basically, did you use the same tyres in qualifying?
No, I used 3 different sets of softs and I lost it on my final run when I was a 10th up. I probably would have got P2 of that, maybe even pole position, depending on how my final sector went. But nah, qualifying didn't go well, but yeah, of course, kept ahead in the race, tried avoiding the penalties because I knew it was like a heavy penalty track, and yeah.
And obviously, I'm guessing you and Christmas was in the same party. Was there any team orders at all in the race?
Say again, sorry.
Was there any team orders in the race between you and Christmas?
I think the only team orders was to pit a lap earlier, so I could like cover off like Lou and that and not drop off the train, and in the end it worked. But unfortunately for Macho, he had that running with Baraka on that next lap, so I don't know how it would have gone if he went earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, well, with that win, you've just extended your championship lead by quite a long way now after Baraka had to pit out on the last lap or so. So you've got one hand on the title so far, which you're probably thrilled about. But heading into Jeddah, are you expecting a nice fight with Baraka? Because he's got nothing to lose at this minute.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, hold on. So I only need to get. Yeah, I need to only score. I think 11 points. So yeah, 4th place would do me the title. But yeah, hoping for some good battles next week at least. But I'm not gonna be taking so much risk. I mean, Jeddah's a good track for me, but we'll see how it goes there. Maybe try and wrap it up.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully there'll be a good fight, because I think me and James agreed. I think Baraka was the one to win this after the fantastic pace that he was showing, and after the commiserations on the last few laps, I think he will want to get that back, especially on you, which would be a fantastic thing to see from our point of view. But congratulations on your win, as you are one of the, well, you did deserve it, and obviously you're pretty much our driver of the day, I believe. So congratulations on that, and good luck for next week.
Cheers. Thanks for the commentary as always, guys.
Always.
Very welcome indeed. Obviously, a lot of fun having 11 drivers turning up to race here in FRL, everyone, but there's still drama to be had, of course, which is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you guys, of course, enjoyed it at home. We will now move, of course, to Lou, who finished in the end in P2. And Lou, once again, phenomenal drive from your perspective. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I don't think it was like that, to be honest. I felt good at the beginning, and on the mediums actually. I pitted the lap earlier, because actually I felt there could be a huge undercut, and it worked actually. So yeah, that was quite nice. But then, I don't know what happened, to be honest. On my screen, Christmas just absolutely almost straight lined me. From then on, I got floor damage. And I don't know what happened, to be honest. It felt like he threw away my win, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, certainly from our perspective, it certainly seemed like that as well. It definitely looked to me Baraka may have just outbroke himself down in towards turn 3, obviously trying to not defend his actions whatsoever, but obviously it was one of those incidents that I think obviously
was
had...
it Baraka?
It was Baraka,
Yeah.
it was.
Huh? My screen... Okay, then it's Baraka.
Unless we had a desync, but on our screen it was certainly Baraka who threw the dive down the inside.
Who was on the inside and who was on the outside?
Christmas outside, Baraka inside.
Oh yeah,
Behind
first
you.
I got a small tap on the inside, and then from someone who was on the outside, and then got damaged. I don't know really what happened, to be honest. Then I went onto the gravel, and yeah, lost a lot of time.
Yeah, lost a lot of time, but in the end, obviously how everything panned out, of course, in behind, you still finish in P2. So in the terms of the safety cars, did the safety cars really help you along in the race?
I think they did, to be honest. The last safety car was actually planned for me. It seemed like it, actually. And yeah, it was fun, the last laps on those softs. And yeah, that was it, actually.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch from our perspective, because obviously only with 11 drivers we still get drama, which is obviously what we want, but obviously in terms of the driving standards, that's what we don't want, certainly, and obviously we'll come on to all of that in just a second. But Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Again, not much really. I mean, defensive driving was really on edge. Looking at yours and Christmas, I believe, or TC, I can't remember. But you defended really, really well. You pitted really early. You were one of the earliest to go on the mediums. I think it's just my geeky questions, really. Were you trying to do the strategy that I did last night for pitting very early just to get the jump on everyone else, or were you just doing your own race just to get the race lead on the pit stops?
Actually, I was planning to pit early because I thought the undercut would work pretty well here. So I did that, and it worked out at the end. Just came behind Baraka, but yeah, then after the pits, my tires were a little bit warm, and then I struggled, got out of DRS, and yeah, the soft runner Met TC just absolutely blasted past me, but then he spun, so that's very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and obviously you having floor damage as well, which obviously costs your race even more. Probably a good opportunity to challenge Jensen, maybe with the win also. So it's very unfortunate to see. Obviously, none of it your fault. What you did, you just drove the guy and accidentally you just got hit on the side. So unfortunate for that, but Jeddah next week, hopefully there'll be more drivers turn up, fingers crossed. But are you hoping for maybe a much calmer battle, as there's quite a wide track around Jeddah?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't practiced for Jeddah too much. I didn't do that for this race also, but I definitely need to practice for Jeddah, because you can see how fast Christmas is getting, and he's behind me in the championship, so I definitely need to practice a lot more. And one more thing, I really thought it was Christmas. I don't know why, but on my screen is all like that, so apologies to you, Christmas. That's all I gotta say, to be honest.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, basically he was right behind you in the braking zone, just taking the normal line, and Baraka presumably was just trying to get past Christmas more than anything, but I think he just outbraked himself into your side pod and obviously cost your race pretty much.
Yeah, but you know, these things happen, but you know, it's racing. Everybody can make a fault. I mean, I will be angry at the time, but after the race you will see me getting calm again. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said previous last night, yeah, just say what you need to say and just move on, really. It's just one of those things with races and it just happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully you'll have a much better race next week, less stressful, I presume. And hopefully you'll fight for podiums and hold on for your P3 in the championship.
Yeah, it will be definitely close. Christmas is fast guy, but I think we're going to have some battles on, especially Abu Dhabi, because we are close to each other. Nothing else to say. That's it.
Alright, well, good luck for next week, and well done for your podium.
Thank you, and thank you guys for commentating as well.
No worries.
Very welcome indeed. And now we'll move on to the man who finished in P3. That, of course, is KVR Christmas. And Christmas, the question on everyone's mind, I think, in this party, and certainly on the stream, what on earth were you doing in that incident with Baraka? Talk us through it.
Yeah, you could better ask what Baraka was doing, to be honest. I guess he has to use some ABS or something, like outbraking. Braking seems pretty difficult for him, so yeah, we go into turn 3, and obviously I want him to go down the inside, but he was just so impatient because he saw Jensen running away with it. So he went for a huge dive bomb, crashed Leo off, gave me damage, stupid incident. Then he thought, you know, let's go down the inside there somewhere around turn 6, and well, I can say I pushed him to the maximum of the track, gassed 2 wheels on the grass. Yeah, he spun out. Not my problem, to be honest, just stupid from him. And then yeah, he just threw his own championship chances in the bin, to be honest, and just poor from everyone, to be, yeah, just fucking stupid. And then yeah, in the beginning obviously I was just controlling it. I had very good pace, was just letting him go up ahead to create a gap, but yeah, I was just chilling behind. I think I could have, well, definitely got like a 1-2 with Jensen, or well, definitely better than P3. It's just shambles, to be honest, and yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, certainly I think what we can say is driving standards should be better, I think, after this race, and I'm sure everyone will have a look at the stream, they'll calm down, and obviously the stewards will investigate if any incidents are reported. Obviously in terms of the second safety car as well, you came out, I think, in 6th position in that safety car, and then all of a sudden, I think 2 laps later, you were P3, and I literally said in commentary, you might end up winning this race. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case to be, but did those safety cars really help you in that race?
No, the first pit stop was stupid because Baraka broke like 50 meters too early, so I accidentally hit him in the back, got damaged, had to change my wing, was 5 seconds behind, got back to the group because I just had phenomenal pace. Then the safety car came, I just was out of the rhythm, medium traction, overtook me, but I just let him through. I said go ahead son, go to P1 and hold the grid up a bit. And then the second one I had to double stack, so that was not ideal as well. Then I came in P7, I just knew I would have definitely got back to the podium, and I think I came, Hawk was defending for his life, then I came behind him somewhere in the first sector, and I again forced him into braking later than me into turn, I have no clue where. And then he absolutely missed the braking zone, and he just full-on smashed into Baraka. And then I was past Baraka again, and I had so much pace behind Jensen, I said, overtake him so I can overtake him as well. But then there was Baraka who was impatient and just absolutely killed us.
Yeah, well, obviously, stewards will have a look into all of the incidents. I think that's obviously been had in this race. Hopefully, if obviously stuff gets reported, things will be dealt with, and hopefully we'll have better driving standards in Jeddah, of course, next week. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, well, obviously with the first pit stop that you've lost your front wing, I just have to ask, was that just the end of your victory of that first safety car? Because you were pretty much set to challenge for the win, but after the safety car, that front wing change, it just put you on the back foot a bit.
Of course it put me on the back foot, but like I said, it was 5 seconds and I gained 1.5 seconds each lap, so I would have definitely still been there. I think if Jensen was in the lead, I would have definitely let him win, because next season is my chance of getting fights with him. He still has to get the championship, so I would have just set back in P2, but it was still not over.
And on that last restart, James was convincing you would come all the way through the field to win, but if you got past Baraka as soon as possible, would you have hold station to let Jensen have more points, or would you still just challenge for the win if you could?
Well, I was already past Baraka, so I was in P3, and I said to Jensen, if you overtake him, I can go for it as well. And then Jensen was passed, so I would have definitely had the shot. I would have sticked in the DRS of Jensen, and we would have just got to repeat the 1-2. But you know what happened.
Yeah, unfortunately that did happen, and I think there'll be lots of talks about it off track, and I don't know what the chat's like, but I believe it'll probably be a bit interesting. But going up to next week though, in Jeddah, obviously we should have a lot of fun around there. Hopefully there will be a lot of more drivers. Do you think you can go for the win this time and stay out Baraka's rear wing?
I have incredible pace there as well. If I just put in the practice, I could fight for podiums definitely every race. But if Jensen, let's just say if I'm in P1 and Jensen's in P2 and Jensen needs to win the race, I'll give the win to Jensen. But if there is if he's in P2 and I'm in P1 and he already wins the championship with a P2, I'm gonna fight him like there's no tomorrow.
Well, I think, let's say if Baraka won the race, I think Jensen probably needs to get maybe P6 or P5, which it could be easily doable, but we'll just have to wait and see by that. But hopefully you win the race next week, and hopefully there won't be any more trouble like there was tonight.
I hope the same, to be honest.
Yeah, well, either way, congratulations on your podium, good comeback, and good luck for next week.
Thank you, and thanks for the comms, guys.
No worries.
Very welcome indeed. We'll now move on to the man who finished in P4, and probably for the first time he's getting an interview in a while. Black Box, of course, finishing in P4. And we literally said, after the end of this race, how on earth have you finished in P4?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well, first of all, thanks for the welcome back, and second, let's forget about the whole beef between Christmas and Baraka. Nobody cares about that. How the hell have I managed to finish P4? I don't know. I spun twice in quali, spun in the race. That's crazy. I should have won that race, to be honest. I got out of the way. I got out of the way of everyone, but I just want to say congrats to Jensen. Again, phenomenal drive, and these guys are pretty quick, so they're going to give me a run for my money even when I get better on the wheel. So yeah, I'm out of breath, sweating. That was crazy.
That's what you should be like after a race. If nobody's like that after a race, you haven't had a race. It's simple as that. Talk us through, though, the safety cars, obviously. You had that inspired choice along with T-Hawk, and I'm going to ask him exactly the same question as well. You were inspired, both of you, to stay out underneath that second safety car. It eventually worked out in the end and you finished in P4. What were you actually expecting to stay out on that second safety car?
Shall I be honest with you? The only reason why I wanted to stay out on track is so that I could post on Twitter later that I was actually in the lead of the race at one point in the race. That's the only reason why I stayed out. But then T-Hawk stayed out, and I was like, damn it. But anyway, yeah. To be fair, I had pit earlier before, so I thought there's not really a point to pit again. And yeah, again, I did want that P1 for even if it was for a lap. That would have it would have made my day, but yeah, I had to get out of the way of everyone else. I didn't want to get in the championship fight. I didn't want to influence anything, so I got out of the way of Jensen and Baraka. But I mean, I don't really know what happened, but I saw Baraka spinning and I celebrated a little bit because I was like, maybe I can get a P5 here, and then all of a sudden that turned into a P4. So yeah, that made my day. The safety cars made my day.
Safety cars made your day indeed, and of course you've also joined FRL recently since I think I last spoke to you. How are you finding your feet there so far?
Honestly, I don't really want to talk bad about certain teams and stuff like that, but there's certain individuals from my previous team that have been giving me a lot of stick recently, trying to say that I'm a liar and how I cheat and stuff like that, and how I still use assists. And to be honest, I didn't need that pressure. And the new team that I'm with, they love me so much. My two new bosses, Charlie and Harry, they're so good at their job, and they're so supporting, and they've made me the driver I was meant to be at IFR, but now they take the credit for it. So I'm very happy, yeah, I'm a really good no-line driver now, beating the people I was compared to before and told I was slower than. So I'm really happy now, and I'm content with my controller pace, but the wheel is the new challenge for me, and very soon I'm going to be back at the top. You'll see.
Yeah, it just comes to show, I think, if you get some stick, you do something about it, and you respond back in the greatest way possible. And I think this P4 tonight just proves that entirely, because obviously, with everything that happened in the race, you obviously not probably going to get as many points as probably what you were thinking, but still a fourth position for you is phenomenal, and hopefully you can carry on the form, of course, going into Jeddah next week. Michael, I'm going to come to you. Any questions?
Not really, because we haven't really seen much of you this race, because you have been on your own for most of it until that safety car. But congratulations, you were up there, and obviously getting out of your way, which was very respectful. And coming back to FRL, which I believe you were here for quite a while back. So congratulations coming back. But yeah, in that race, do you think you would challenge for high points? What was your expectations just coming in, or were you just here to have some fun?
So I'll be honest, again, I was pretty much eating about 3 minutes before the race. I had no practice, and I went in and I thought, if I spin, I'm going to look like an idiot, so I'm going to try not to spin. That happened anyway, so I looked like an idiot. And continued in the race. I thought, don't spin, still spun in the race, and I thought, don't spin again, and then luckily I didn't. And even though I was about 10 seconds slower a lap, I still managed to get a P4, so I'm just happy. So happy.
Well, congratulations. I'm really happy for you, especially the story you gave us about people just take the mick of you using assist. And there's nothing wrong with using assist. I've used assist. And basically, you just use whatever makes you quicker, really. But
the thing is that now I've actually turned it off, and they're actually using my pace. They're kind of telling me, oh, there's no way you're that quick without assists. And I actually am, so I take it as a compliment now. And, you know, I'm doing really well for myself, focusing on myself, not on anyone else. And I want other people to do that as well. That people who are getting stick and are getting pressure, just focus on yourself. Don't listen to all the negativity around you. And you prove them all wrong. That's my message to everyone here in this party, everyone in life. That's my message to everyone.
Yeah, thanks.
I couldn't say it better myself. Well, congratulations on your P4. Hopefully we'll see you next week in Jeddah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see. That's a really bad track for me, but we'll see.
Well, you didn't think you would get a P4, so anything can happen.
Yeah, maybe P1 next week, we'll see.
Probably. Maybe a P2 with a fastest lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you did come next week to Jeddah, do you think you would get points there?
Well, I mean, let's face it, I can destroy Jensen on the wheel easy, so, you know, P1 is where it's at. I'll get P1 next week, don't you worry. Anyway.
Well, I love your confidence. Either way, good luck on your well done on your P4, and good luck for next week in Jeddah if we see you there.
Thank you so much for your commentary as well, so well done, and yeah, thanks for having me back.
You're very welcome indeed, and honestly, that's probably the best interview I think we've had all season on FRL. Really insightful, really well structured, perfect, I think, so thank you very much, Black Box, for that. Now, we'll move on to the man who finished in P5, and of course, that was Physical. Goodness me, I'm blind as well as a little bit thick, but there we are. Physical finishing in P5. Of course, you were in the podium positions at one point, obviously, with a really good race, I think, between your belt. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it's just a shame that, you know, my own stupidity costs me yet again. And also, it's another podium lost to Black Box after China, so what can you do, really? Just need to pretty much work on not getting so many penalties in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Australia, around a track like this, the track limits is so hard, I think, to try and grasp, and obviously you're going to be picking up penalties. So I think you can only drive, really, the best you can drive, to be honest. And obviously, in terms of those two safety cars as well that came out on track, do you think they really helped you in a way where you could actually race with people who are obviously around the same pace of you here in F1?
Yeah, it probably would have helped me, but I decided to play pretty much a team game with guys behind, like met TC, for example. When he went to the soft, there was no point in me pretty much trying to hold him up after the safety car restart. Like, I told instantly when we got grip back racing to just go, and same with Christmas as well, that I just told him to just go, and I was just trying to hold on to them, and if some people make mistakes ahead, just try and gain from that, which happily at few points that helped me a bit. But yeah, it's pretty annoying just to see that another podium lost with my own stupidity, really.
Yeah, it's another podium lost, obviously, but I think in the whole grand scheme of things, probably your best race in a while here, I think, in FRL, so really good result, I think, still from your perspective. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Again, I'm not very good with answering questions now, because, yeah, unfortunately for your miss out podium, yeah, again, it's just really been a season to forget, really, from your point of view, hasn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say that, because I have improved in results from last season. Like, last season I only had one podium, now I have two, and I have even more like top 5 finishes, so I'd say it's a slow but steady improvement every season. Yeah,
well, hopefully it will get better and better each time, and hopefully you'll get more podiums than well, you deserve more podiums than you've got at the minute, which is just... sorry, I can't get my words out again. But yeah, sorry, I can't get my words. I'm stuttering a little bit.
Like, waiting for pretty much nearing 800 days since my last win in here it's pretty much getting a meme for me at this point as well. So that's my only goal is just to win a race, and if I do that, then that's my season already completed.
Well, you definitely have got the pace to actually win a race this season, and I'm pretty sure all the drivers here know you have, otherwise you wouldn't be in F1 right now. And you still got the pace, you are still competing for podiums every race as well, so that is something.
I wouldn't say every race, but let's say 30%.
Well, yeah, you can say that, but I do see differently, and I do think you are better than you are. But going into Jeddah, there should be a lot of fun there. Again, hopefully there'll be more drivers involved. Do you think you can actually get a podium in that one?
No, Jeddah is one of those tracks that I pretty much wish would have never even made it to the F1 game. Like, the track is just, in my opinion, the worst track in this entire game, even worse than Monaco.
Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Is it because of the high-speed corners, or if you lose the back end and that's it, your race is over? Is it that kind of feeling?
No, it's just that I just can't get into any kind of rhythm throughout the entire race, or even in qualifying. Like, I'm not able to extract pretty much the maximum at any point.
Alright, well, commiserations on your race today. Hopefully you'll take some positivity out of it, and I hope you do challenge for a podium next week, because you do truly deserve one. And yeah, just good luck for next week.
Thanks.
Always.
And now we'll move on to the man who actually led 2 laps of the Australian Grand Prix. It is Mr. T-Hawk, of course, and T-Hawk, fantastic racing from your perspective, inspired, I think, in terms of that second safety car as well. Talk us through your race, because it seemed like you were having quite a few battles out on track as well.
I don't know, I probably would say that it was a race to forget, really, with safety car. With the safety cars obviously helping me out a bit, but yeah, already in qualifying, spinning out on my third attempt with the mediums, crashing into my teammate on formation lap, starting with cold tires, all that. So the safety car really did help me out, especially the second one, because obviously everybody pitted for the soft, so I was leading with the mediums, and my one hope of actually trying to get a good result was hoping that Black Box would hold up the entire field behind him and give me a bit of a gap. Obviously that didn't happen, because he led past half of the field going into turn 3, so that was a bit unfortunate. And then it got even worse for me when I missed my braking point, hit by that car, damaged my front wing, only managed to come home in P8, I think it was. So yeah, probably not ideal, but still better than nothing.
Still better than nothing, and I like your impetus, I think, within the race, of course. Still points, obviously, you only had a limited attendance, obviously, but still points. Fantastic from your perspective. Talk about the second safety car. I asked this to Black Box as well, and he said it was an inspired choice. Was it an inspired choice for you also to stay out on that set of medium compounder tyres?
Yeah, it was, because I knew that if I'd pit, I didn't know about the penalty situation for the other drivers. I knew that Zavo had, I think, 2 penalties, and that I myself had 1 penalty. That's all I knew. So I figured ideally I could maybe gain just 1 position if I pit just like everybody else. And as I told him, my hope would have been that Black Box, who was slightly behind me on old softs, would hold back the field a bit, so I can create a bit of a gap, and then try to get a better result than 7th. Now, with the advantage of hindsight, with everything that happened to the Mercedes and to Black Box, him dropping off the pace, and Baraka having his incident, I probably should have pitted, because then I could have still gotten like a top 4, top 5 finish. But yeah, at the time, I basically just had nothing to lose, so to say. So for me it might have seemed a bit inspired, but for me it was the only logical decision to try and improve my position.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think, honestly, if I was in the same position, I probably would have done exactly the same thing and tried to hold up everyone behind me for as long as possible, which I think obviously paid off in the end. You finished in P8, you finished, of course, within the points. It was still a good race from you in that perspective. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
You pretty much described what I was going to ask you about that last safety car. Were you just going to plan to stay out? Because have you got anything to gain out of it? Because everyone was pitted for softs also. So yeah, you pretty much already answered my question really. But was there any other option on that last safety car? Do you think you could have stayed out longer than you did, or Was there just any other option of getting higher in the points?
Yeah, I mean, we only, like, basically I just had two options, either staying out or pitting for softs. Anything else wouldn't have made sense. I didn't know how many fresh tires the others had. I knew that I still had a fresh set of softs, so that could have worked to my advantage. But then again, I would just be at the end of the train, probably not getting past a lot of people. And I know that overtaking around there is a bit difficult, and I'm usually quite good with defending on the mediums. So I figured that staying out on the mediums would have been my best shout, and I guess if I wouldn't have made that mistake of hitting Baraka and damaging my front wing, maybe I could have still finished in P4. So yeah, I think it was maybe a bit strange, the decision, but reasonable.
Right, okay, well, commiserations on that. I mean, to be honest, if you did probably pitted, you probably gained one place, because obviously Baraka had a moment near the end, but obviously we never knew that was going to happen at that point, so... But at least you got points, despite having only a few handful of drivers. Still points this point, and you're still climbing the table just little by little. And with just a handful of, just 2 races to go, next one in Jeddah, you're hoping for good fun there, because it is a fun track to most people.
I actually don't know. I think I've only done like 5 laps around there, and that was when the track came out, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be performance-wise. All I know is that the track layout itself should suit me. You know, I like those fast flowing S-bends, especially with the walls close by. It reminds me a lot of the last sector in Vietnam, in a way. So I think the track will be fun to drive. Whether or not I'm actually going to be fast around there, I'm not sure. I feel like I should be able to be back at 100% once we arrive in Jeddah, so yeah, hopefully if the track suits me as well as I think, and if I can find a decent setup, I should be able to score some better points than today.
Yeah, hopefully so. And obviously, well done for leading the race in F1. I was quite happy to see that, especially if it was a Ferrari 1-2 back in the day. We used to see that. But unfortunately, it didn't last very long. But well done for that, at least. And again, like you said, you could have got points if it went your way. Probably maximum P4, if possible. But yeah, well, points is points, and Australia is now done with now. One of the hardest tracks on the game. And we just look forward to Jeddah, and good luck for next week. Hopefully you get more points in that one.
Yeah, and hopefully we get more drivers.
Fingers crossed.
Just watch my rant at the start of the stream. Yes, I did have a rant at the start of the stream about 11 people, so you can go and watch that back, of course, at the start of the stream, of course, when we do finish. But we are going to move on to the final man, who's been waiting very patiently, I've got to say, in our party. It is MedTC. And Med, of course, you were in the prime spot to take the race win, and then the Turn 5 curb caught you out completely. Talk us through it.
Well, I crashed. Happy now?
I'm not happy at all, because obviously you were on the set of soft compound tyres, you were much quicker than the guys around you, and obviously the curbs on this game, the physics on this game, just obviously caused your car to end off going into the wall and spinning out of turn 5, because I thought, honestly, you're probably going to walk away with it just before you obviously crashed out the race.
Hold on a sec, was I meant to say, like, something?
Yes.
Like, what was the question again?
Basically, before you crashed out, you were in the prime spot to take the race win. If you obviously didn't crash out, do you think you could have won that race? Because I said in commentary that you probably could have.
Well, I think I passed 4 or 5 cars in, like, a couple laps, although most of them let me by, so I was, like, pretty confident and so on. And yeah, if I didn't crash out, I think I could have, like, at least caught Baraka, so
that's like a positive considering how like my pace earlier this season. But yeah, I had to pen though, so yeah, it's kind of like 50-50. I could have won or I couldn't have. It's kind of, we'll never know. So that's it.
Yeah, I think honestly, take the positives out of the race, I think, more than anything else, because you were probably the quickest man in that second half of the race before you crashed out. You were probably going to get the win as well. So there's plenty of positives, I think, to take on. So don't beat yourself up about it, because I know you normally do. Don't beat yourself up about it, but just, there's so many positives to take out the race. It's probably your best race of the season. Obviously, without crashing, you probably could have ended up towards the top end of the podium, but probably your best race to date, I think, in FRL this season.
Yeah, it's like today I finally felt like I did on like the earlier games, like the pace was like somewhat there, like on practice did a decent lap on qualifying and so on, and like yeah, everything felt okay today, which was like rather surprising, but yeah, like some positives to take, but yeah, have to like keep the spinning out on following once, but yeah, I think that's like about summary of my race.
Yeah, it's still really good, I think, to see. Obviously, you're going to take the positives out of the race, and hopefully Jeddah might just spark a little bit more interest, of course, in you next week. Michael, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, obviously you made the risky decision to go on the softs, and I think you were the only one on softs at that point, which were 15 laps to go. So, let's say if you did catch Baraka and took the lead, do you think you could have holded him for P1?
Well, I'd say so. Like pace was like really good, and like there was like really would have been like 12 laps or 13 with softs. So I think they would have like dropped off, like somewhat on the end, but like on this game, like the tire wear is like smaller, so yeah, would have, could have, like yeah. As I said, it's like we'll never know. Yeah.
Well, commiserations on your spin. I think you were just all happy on the throttle, just getting past people, which everyone loves to do, just on someone. But yeah, take the positives out of this, because obviously you had the pace, and obviously you just said it yourself. You think you could have catch Baraka and hold him as well. So that is positive to take out of this race, and hopefully you will take it into next week in Jeddah. Do you think you can next week?
Well, I've done a couple of races on Jeddah, and like not so much quality pace as per usual, but like on the race, like it feels okay, and that track is mostly just like about like avoiding corner cuts and like crashes, because yeah, it's a quick track with strict track limits, so I think it should like fit me quite well. But yeah, like only time will tell, so.
Yeah.
Wouldn't like promote any conspiracy like like week before, but yeah, we'll see on next Tuesday.
We'll see indeed, and hopefully you will finish the race on a very high position. And
yeah, let's take that back a bit, but I'll do my best.
Well, hopefully it'll be a good result, and good luck for next week.
Yeah, appreciate. Thanks about the comms yet again, even though attendance was pretty poor today, but yeah.
Yeah,
obviously.
Respect.
That's the target for next week.
Yeah, target for next week indeed. Hopefully, attendance is back to the standards it used to be, of course, in America, where we had the full grid. And hopefully the driving standards are going to be a damn sight better than what we experienced in F1. And a lot of just said in the Discord, remember, this is the top tier. Remember, this is F1, not F3, not F4. You are not drivers like those in F3 or F4. You are the top tier, and you should be putting on a show. And if you're not putting on a show, you're disappointing me, you're disappointing Michael, you're disappointing the rest of your drivers, and you're also disappointing the viewers at home, who are obviously paying, not paying very good money, but they are subscribing into the channel, and they're viewing every week's worth of racing. And for them, I think you should be very sorry. Really. Just frankly so. And, well, after that marks the end of the stream. What I can say is FRL Season 14 sign-ups are now open within the Discord, so if you are within the Discord and you're listening previously and you haven't got your sign-up set in, you can of course look in, I think it's in the announcements chat if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's in the announcements chat. FRL Season 14 sign-ups are now live, and of course more action to come next week for the penultimate round of the Championship. FRL F3 and F4 of course live on Monday night at 7 PM UK time, around of course Jeddah, and once again we're back in Jeddah for FRL F1 and F2 next Tuesday of course at 7 PM UK time. We hope to see you there, and hopefully Jeddah lives up to the expectations that I'm certainly expecting, because if it's anything like the PSGL Esports Cup event race, we will be in for an absolute treat. So hopefully I've whetted the appetite enough. We will end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.